Hi there. Welcome to Your Money in Real Estate. My name's Mark Vasilius, and today we've got a fantastic show, and like every show, they're fantastic, but this one is a little bit different because we've got a guy that is from the way north, and I have a special affinity for the north, and that's probably one of the reasons why I've got Mike Oswin on my show. And Mike is I would say is a character. He's a straight up guy. He's doing all the work. He's in the trenches. And I know that a lot of our viewers are going to appreciate a guy that really has a hands-on approach to it. So, Mike, I'd like to say welcome to the show.
Thanks.
And so, tell me, Mike, how did you sort of, I guess, start off, or tell me a little bit about your background? How did you sort of, get the ball rolling in all this?
Well, I was 20 years in the vending business with vending machines in Barrie, Collingwood, and Orillia.
Okay.
And
so you knew how to handle cash.
Yeah, I knew how to handle cash.
Did you know how to spend it?
I tried.
Okay.
So I did that for 20 years, and I was up north. My wife's parents lived there in Englehart. And taking a look around, I saw the real estate prices were really, really cheap.
When you say cheap, and this is what, 20 years ago you're saying?
I'm talking about 3 years ago.
Okay, yeah. So you started off in the vending business, but when you're saying, I guess you started looking around, and I guess Kirkland Lake is where you're investing?
Yes.
Oh, is it only Kirkland Lake?
Yes.
Okay, so go on then.
So I took a look around. I saw the prices were really cheap, and I also saw gold was coming up, and the mines were opening up again. So you put two and two together, and it looks like a pretty good investment.
Well, back up a bit there. You're connecting gold and real estate.
Yes.
I'm going to play dumb. What's the connection between gold and real estate?
Well, the Kirkland Lake area...
Besides that, they're both worth a lot of money.
Both worth a lot of money. Kirkland Lake has been a boom and bust town for quite a long time. And it's been a bust for quite a long time. But now gold has jumped up so much that they've been digging into the ground deeper and deeper with newer technology. And they've been pulling out a lot more gold than they thought was there. So naturally, it's going to make the prices of the real estate go up because the people are moving in to populate the mines.
Okay, so you're making a connection, and the word I'm going to use is an economic fundamental, because I know a lot of you out there that read books and get into analysis. You talk about what are the fundamentals of investing in Kirkland Lake. So let me ask you: did you read books? Did you sort of?
Oh yeah, I read a lot of books when I got into real estate. Dozens.
Before you got it though, like were you always sort of your hand in real estate, or did you just?
Not at all, actually. I was particularly in vending, and I also had a hot dog cart that operated outside a bar.
Good for you.
For about 20 years, and it fed the kids. We got by. Didn't think about real estate until I got right into it, and within 4 months of thinking about it, I bought my first property.
So when you were doing the vending and the hot dog thing, I mean, in Toronto or North?
In Collingwood.
Collingwood area?
And Barrie, yep.
Were you highly successful, or were you, as you use the word, getting by? And I don't want to get into that, but I mean, it's if you're getting by and then suddenly you got into real estate and you're making money, there's probably some bridges you had to cross.
Well, yeah, sure, there were a lot of bridges. By getting by, I mean we were paying a mortgage, we were feeding the kids, we had vehicles.
Yeah.
But the real estate.
So you had a single family home kind of thing? Nothing?
Yes.
Okay. That's
right.
all you had.
I had the home, and then my wife had her home when I met her. I had 3 kids, and she had 3 kids.
Okay.
And I
Six
ended
kids?
up selling 6 kids.
You could almost make a movie about that.
Make a baseball
half a
team.
dozen and half a dozen thing, whatever it is. Go ahead.
So we sold my house, and some of that ended up going into real estate as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think real estate is the type of thing you have to jump into. When you see a deal, you see things happening, you have to do whatever you can to get in.
Okay, so backing up again, you read some books, you understood that an economic fundamental, which we would call a driver, an economic driver, and you said, okay, if gold is going up, which it has been actually for quite some time, then you said, well, if gold's going up, Kirkland Lake has some mines, these mines are going to get activated, real estate's going to go up in value.
Right.
First question is, was your prediction right?
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah. Beyond my dreams, actually. Went way higher than I expected. Yeah.
And so then let's start again, I guess. So you've only been doing this for 3 years?
Yep.
Okay. And you started off with one home, and you focused on Kirkland Lake because of the, as we say, the economic driver. What was what did you consider low prices? Like you said, you couldn't believe the prices of some of these properties.
Well, I bought a fiveplex for $32,000.
32.
Yeah.
Does everyone get that? $32,000.
It was rough, but it was still fully tenanted.
Did it have walls?
It had walls.
Roof?
Yep.
Furnace?
Yeah. Yeah.
Were people living in it?
Yes.
That's not rough.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, my places, when I buy them, they have raccoons living in them.
Yeah. So we've had a few of those too.
Yeah, I bet. Was that your first property you bought?
No, the first one was 2 duplexes side by side.
So a semi?
No, two buildings, each a
okay.
duplex.
Okay.
And I got that for $47,900. And then a year later, I had it refinanced at $127,000 after a little bit of improvement, not a whole lot.
I'm sure there's a lot of you out there right now that would love to talk to Mike and find out how he's done it, because in many ways, that's how I actually met Mike. Is Mike started? We've been going back and forth with emails, and he's sort of saying to me, "Hey, you got to come up and see Kirkland Lake," and so that's why I brought him on the show. So for any of you want to give us a call, ask Mike questions, because when you start kicking around $35,000 for a fiveplex and what was it for a duplex? Was $47,000.
Yeah.
We're going to get into the rents, but just give us a call if you can. So I got to then go back again to the beginning and say, how did you, obviously money had to come from somewhere to buy these properties.
Well, I started off with an inheritance that I had. It was about $80,000, and I bought 4 properties.
Okay.
With that as down payments, and within the first year, all the property values doubled in Kirkland Lake, and the rents as well.
So you got into Kirkland Lake at what year?
2009.
2009.
Yeah.
And they doubled?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
And they're almost doubling again. Almost again. That's how quickly it's growing.
Well, I know. I mean, I'm in the biz, and I'm talking to people, and everyone's saying, "Oh, Calgary, Edmonton, that's the place to go."
Yeah.
Well, Regina and Saskatoon right now is a pretty hot area, but this is amazing.
It is. It is. And it's unknown. It's relatively unknown.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have come on the show, because now people are going to be running up saying, "Let's invest in Kirkland Lake."
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
My
Mike.
property manager said the same thing, actually. It's a blessing and a curse, because people who know the area don't want people to come up there right now. They want to grab the deals.
Yeah.
But a lot of the deals are gone, but there's still some left.
Well, I mean, you touched on something which we've mentioned quite a few times in the show, is the risk reward thing.
Yeah.
And you, right at the very beginning, you did say that Kirkland Lake is a boom bust town.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things are good now.
They are.
Things can change quickly.
They can.
Because we talked about gold as an economic fundamental. I mean, if gold drops, Kirkland Lake drops.
Gold likely won't drop, though. It might level out for a while, but I don't think it's going to drop. Nobody thinks it's going to drop. If it stays above 800 an ounce, we're okay.
Where are we at now with gold?
1750. Yeah.
So why do you pick 800 as the mark?
That's what the banks say. That's what the banks tell me. That they're afraid that if it ever drops below 8, that we'll lose everything. But gold's never dropped that much, ever, in the history of the market. So.
Well, I know people who trade money, that depending on what happened with the U.S. I mean, gold is whenever there's economic troubles, gold goes up, because
exactly
technically people that used to be what 1972 was the standard of what a reserve was based on, was the gold reserves. Mike, I'm actually in shock at some of these prices that you've given me. Let's go back a little bit to talk to me about you bought a property, but you live down here, and there's a huge gap. Like, was it 5 hours, 6 hours?
It's about 4.5. Yeah, about 5 or 6 in the wintertime.
Did anyone tell you that it would be a long drive in the middle of the winter to get up there to see a tenant?
Well, I knew it would be, but I don't have. I've got a property manager up there that
Okay.
looks after everything, and there's a crew that he has that does construction for me. When I'm up there, I do small things, whatever needs to be done to be looked after, but he really does everything for me, and they're a great crew. I mean, I'd be lost without those guys. So,
Tell me how many. What's the population in Kirkland Lake, first of all?
when I started, it was 8,600, but then I think now they're saying it's 12, but it's really up around 15, because people are fluctuating in constantly, the miners.
Well, if values are doubling, population is obviously the biggest driver, and that would make sense.
Definitely.
With 8,000 people, it would make sense. So
I think I sent you an article too. They're needing 600 homes in the next 3 years, I think,
Right.
in order to house the miners that are coming in.
600.
600 new homes they need.
Are there any builders up there?
There's builders coming in now. There's one subdivision in, and there's not a whole lot of places to build in Kirkland Lake. That's the problem. So
What?
it's
Why?
rock, because it's rock. I mean,
Oh, you're on the shield.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, if there's a demand for 600, I mean, is the mining company willing? I mean, I dabble a bit in development. Would it be worthwhile for a developer to say, "Hey, listen, I'll build these homes"? Would the mining company say, "Hey"? Would they build ATCO units or like something permanent, semi-permanent, or they won't looking at something permanent?
I think you may see condo type units going up there at some point. There's 12 mining companies in the area, so I mean that alone, the mining companies have doubled, right? And their employment is going up and up and up. We can't even keep up with it. Like it's crazy.
So, are you saying you have zero vacancy?
Pretty much.
Do you deal with the mining companies in terms of like for renting? If obviously with the number of doors that you have, you would say, hey guys, you got some new people coming in, I got a vacancy.
Yeah, what I do is I phone the mining companies and I send them ads that they can pin up at their ticket wicket and lunchroom and stuff, where their guys can check it out and phone for apartments. But we have waiting lists for people to get in. Like 1 bedrooms just go like that. They're gone. Yeah.
And I mean, we're going to get into the numbers, later. But what would you charge for a 1 bed?
1 bedroom's $700 right now.
700.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting in Barrie Aurelia area.
That's right.
And you're paying how much for these properties?
Well, now it's about double what I was paying.
Yeah. Forget that. I want to know
Right now, what you're paying or what I paid?
Well, okay. Even now that you refinanced.
Now that I refinanced, the last building that I bought I got for $54,000 was a 4-plex, but we had to put about another 40 into it.
Okay, so 94
to get it viable. So say 94.
I can't wait to get our board up and start kicking out some of these numbers because
well, I know it's insane.
The cap rates. I mean, I'm in shock because I remember back in mid 2000 2004 when I started getting into it. Everyone was telling you got to go to Calgary. I mean, they were saying doubling, and I guess the word that everyone was talking about was my mind's gone. Is the ability to pay for your home? It's not the absorption rate.
The LTV?
No, not LTV. It's my mind's gone dry. And it doesn't matter. I'll get to it. Okay, so Mike, you bought your first property. You inherited $80,000. You bought a few properties. How then did you end up moving forward in buying others?
When the prices rose so drastically, I knew it was time to draw some money out and grab some deals before they were gone. So I refinanced 2 properties, one of them being the 13-plex that I told you about.
Yeah.
I bought that at $157, remortgaged at $298, and took $100,000 out and bought 4 more properties.
With the $100,000?
With the $100,000, yeah.
So like $25,000 down for
each one, average, yeah.
And when you end up refinancing, was it a major bank or was it private?
It was a major bank. Yeah, I end up with 6 mortgages with one bank and 4 with another, which is higher than most people get to. But I think the reason is I was doing it so quickly that one didn't know about the other.
Right.
So yeah, that's why it happened.
So I'm assuming all your mortgages are not with the one mortgage broker or one bank then.
No, like 6 with one, 4 with another, and the last couple I had to do private loans, private mortgages.
Yeah, because we've discussed this on our show before.
You come against the wall, yeah.
You do.
Yep.
And then banks they want to see you make money, but once you start making a lot, it's almost like, nah, you're going to get cut
One of the
off.
managers said to me last year, he said, how much money do you want to make, Mike? And I said, well, as much as I can.
Yeah. Mike, we're touching on so many amazing things here. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Mike Oswin and Your Money in Real Estate.